The auto business is changing along with the rest of the world. Every day, new technologies are emerging. None, though, can compare to EV technology, which Tony Seba, a Tesla bull, claims will completely transform the car business. I'd want to take you on a brief historical tour before discussing my plans for the next 20 years. Horses were the primary mode of transportation in New York City in 1900, a practice that dates back thousands of years. This image shows one car in a sea of horses. There's one horse in that photo, 13 years later, in a sea of cars. Every Tesla investor will be shocked to hear what Tony Seba just disclosed about the unconscionable speed of EV disruption. Renowned futurist and technology expert Tony Seba thinks that electric cars will dominate the transportation industry in the future. The Tesla bull recently offered some predictions about how electric vehicles will permanently alter the automotive landscape. He believes that the world is not prepared for what is to come. In today's video, we'll examine electric cars and how they're changing driving habits and the automobile industry's outlook. Buckle up and prepare to be amazed. There is a lot to learn from Tony Seba's forecasts, from autonomy to longevity. The next 15 to 20 years will be the most disruptive in history. I refer to this type of disruption as phase transition disruption. I'll explain what that implies to you. September saw a 39% increase in new energy vehicles, or plug-in hybrids plus electric cars, from 2% of all vehicles 5 years prior. It is therefore happening very quickly, and some industry people are speculating that it may reach 80% by 2025 rather than just 2030. I made a foolish forecast back in 2014 that everything will end by 2030. There will be a $5,000 automobile by 2030. Combustion engines will essentially be out of business in competitive markets by 2030 for solely economic reasons. However, that is not the actual disturbance. The real phase shifter is actually the combination of fleet-owned and operated autonomous, electric, and on-demand transportation, Uber, Didi, Robotaxi, etc. As is the case in the majority of EV markets worldwide, there is an unprecedented surge in demand for electric vehicles. For example, in the first quarter of last year, mainland China saw nearly 2.4 million EV deliveries, or almost 26% of total car sales in the nation. Only 10% of cars sold in China during the same period in 2021 were electric vehicles, suggesting a rise in demand for EVs there. Both the United States and Europe are registering noteworthy figures. Does this imply, therefore, that EVs will be the automobiles of the future? Could Tony Seba be correct in his assessment? Let's investigate. Welcome back to Tesla Tomorrow, everyone. Tony Seba is a fervent supporter of business model innovation, technology disruption, and technological convergence. Additionally, he thinks that organizational capacities are necessary for product innovation, which results in the emergence of new markets and social structures, as well as the dissolution of older ones. He has therefore seen the anticipated rise in demand for EVs, and a number of automakers have established goals for the production of EVs in the upcoming years. However, Tony Seba pointed out that despite the widespread use of electric vehicles, not all internal combustion engine manufacturers are able to produce them, at least not in the same way as Tesla. Before we continue, please click the like button, subscribe, and enable post alerts if you enjoy this kind of content so you can be informed about all things Tesla. Numerous analysts have projected that the EV market would grow rapidly in the upcoming years, which will lead to a decrease in the production of ICE vehicles. According to some predictions, manufacturers will stop selling internal combustion engines, ICE, after 2028, and by 2035 to 2040, there would be nearly no ICE vehicles left on the road. Like many other Tesla enthusiasts, including Cathie Wood, Tony Seba has forecast that electric vehicles, EVs, will surpass internal combustion engine, ICE, cars in terms of cost and performance. Many businesses currently wish to get on the electric vehicle bandwagon, and many of them have already developed a few electric cars. The issue is that many businesses lack the necessary resources to remain in the EV industry. It takes more than just producing electric automobiles to reach goals while manufacturing them. Since electric vehicles are a completely new technology, It takes a lot to produce an EV, and automakers cannot simply decide to start producing these kinds of vehicles. Companies including Ford, GM, Mazda, Toyota, Volkswagen, and Jaguar are reportedly starting to acknowledge that they can't produce EVs profitably and are pleading for special consideration of green levies meant to expedite the changeover, according to a previous story published by Tony Seba. It's not that these corporations can't participate in the EV revolution. We just mean that their ability to create these vehicles on a large scale is limited. Prior EV reports state that Mazda and Jaguar have acknowledged they're giving up on producing EVs for the general public. Due to poor sales of its electric vehicles in China, Volkswagen is leaving the country. GM is seeking for less punishment for exceeding projected ICE sales in 2027 to 2030. Ford is now reducing the number of EVs it produces because the company is losing too much money on each and every sale. It's that these businesses are unable to keep up. A couple of the ancillary concerns to try and make EVs a reality globally are installing a strong and accessible charging infrastructure and minimizing the environmental impact of crucial mineral extraction for electric car batteries. The intriguing thing is that Tesla is poised to upend the industry and has a firm grip on this. The automaker has been in the electric vehicle, EV business for many years. During that period, it has grown its sales, penetrated new markets, and enhanced technologies to increase revenue. Given the present and anticipated trends in the use of electric vehicles, it is clear that stocks of EV companies, particularly Tesla, will do well in the future. It is encouraging that more businesses are beginning to think about electric vehicles, since more governments will probably follow suit in the future. In a similar vein, oil prices are rising and have been for the past few years. It is expected that they will continue to rise in the years to come. As a result, switching to EVs could ultimately result in financial savings over ICE automobile use. Global sales of electric vehicles, EVs, increased to 6.6 million in 2021 from 3 million in the previous year. This indicates a rise in EV demand, which could point to a move toward renewable energy. This dramatic switch to electric vehicles has also been sparked by a number of forces. For example, nations are enacting legislation to reduce emissions from gasoline-powered vehicles, which, in the absence of suitable regulations to offset them, may result in a major shift in the climate in the years to come. The Canadian government's mandate that all new light-duty cars and passenger trucks in the nation be emission-free by 2035 serves as an excellent illustration. Many other nations have also implemented comparable laws. The demand for electric vehicles has skyrocketed in recent decades. More folks than ever are purchasing and utilizing them right now. The majority of Tesla supporters think that the growing number of people driving electric vehicles will benefit Tesla, its demand, and its sales. Do you believe they are correct? Please share your thoughts with us below, and don't forget to share your Tesla valuation with us. Click on the next video to view more material similar to this one. I'll see you over there. According to Dan Ives, Tesla is a major player in the market, especially now that it has a competitive advantage and a game-changing supercharger network. Thus, allowing other automakers in will increase value for Tesla and its investors. Ives is an outspoken advocate for Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla. In his opinion, Tesla is a pioneer and innovator in the electric vehicle, EV sector, and in the years to come, it has a great chance to increase its earnings, market share, and revenue. He has faith that Tesla will weather the current difficulties and carry on producing excellent outcomes in the long run. How do you feel about his remarks? Tell us in the comments below. Go ahead and click on the following video to see more about what Tesla has been up to in recent days. I'll see you over there.